Sometimes being clever can be a bad thing. For example, this is the 43rd episode of It's Not That Bad. And we thought, wouldn't it be funny if we watched movie 43 for episode 43? You see the problem? That's the kind of thinking that kept us out of the good schools. Regardless, we're going to commit to the bit and prove to you that movie 43 is not that bad. Welcome, one and all, to this edition of It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies. And I'm not going to lie, we gave ourselves quite the challenge this week, because this week we are looking at movie 43. Coincidentally, it's also episode 43, so you can already see the broken thought process that led us down this path. And joining me for this episode is my beautiful wife, Carrie. As always, Carrie, how you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I am good. Now, I am Groot. I am Groot. We're not covering the I Am Groot shorts. That would be on the Just Another Nerd show.
Which is super cute.
It is super cute. This movie, not super cute. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure there were times during the watching of this film that Carrie looked at me and goes, "What are you doing to me? Why? What during all of our years together have I ever done to you to deserve this?"
Okay, but did you not say... And I quote, "We are now even for Soul Plane"?
I was about to say 3 words: Soul Plane, bitch. This is one of those rare special movies where it just seems to be universally heralded as ultimately bad. But we like a challenge, so we're going to go down that road. But before we do, it is time to take movie 43 and trailerize it. Imagine the horror of being forced to watch a movie with a gun pointed at your head. Now imagine watching a movie where someone has to listen to ideas about a movie with a gun pointed at their head. Now imagine trying to find a gun so you can end the pain of watching that movie. Enter movie 43, a film so bad, so disjointed, so wrong. It should be considered an illegal form of torture in multiple countries. It's like The Ring, but instead of a VHS tape summoning a demonic creature, the movie does the killing all by itself. It's an anthology of agony, a cinematic salt in the open wound of your eyes that somehow got made with no one stopping to say, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Multiple directors, multiple stars, multiple therapy sessions needed afterwards. It's movie 43. Rated R for Run. Run as fast and as far as you can.
Jeez. Do you have anything nice to say?
You know what the funny thing is? I do have nice things to say, but as tradition on this show, we break it down before we build it back up. It's like our own little movie therapy session. Like, it's almost like movie 43 came to us to make it feel good about itself. This is our job, to make movie 43 feel good. You're just like, no.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Us is about to figure out that, this movie's problem. That's what I'm about to say. But let's get through the breakdown here. It stars, in no particular order, Emma Stone, Richard Gere, Dennis Quaid, Liv Schreiber, Kate Winslet, Hugh Jackman, Common, Naomi Watts, Anna Faris, Chris Pratt, Kate Bosworth, Jack McBrayer, Justin Long, Uma Thurman, Kristen Bell, Elizabeth Banks, Leslie Bibb, Chloe Grace Moretz, Sean William Scott, Johnny Knoxville, Gerard Butler, Halle Berry, Terrence Howard, and many, many, many more. Although, with that list of actors,
Would you be surprised to know there's an almost starring in this?
Oh?
There is. Okay, so Gerard Butler plays the role of the leprechaun in one of the sketches. It was originally supposed to be Colin Farrell. And I'm just like, yeah, I can kind of see it. The role of Batman in this during the superhero speed dating sketch was originally supposed to be Sam Rockwell.
Ooh.
Because this is basically a redo of a sketch that was done previously, and Sam Rockwell was Batman in that, but he wasn't able to come in and reprise the role. There were other sketches that were done for this film that included the likes of the late Anton Yelchin, Julianne Moore, and Tony Shalhoub, which I would like to have seen. Also, there was a sketch that was pitched that would have starred George Clooney in a sketch where he was, quote unquote, bad at picking up women. This all, of course, according to IMDb. Apparently, George Clooney's response was, and I'm quoting here from IMDb, no way. Like, that is literally the quote that was listed in IMDb. George Clooney to the producers of this film, no way. Which I can kind of see. I can literally see him looking at this idea going, no. If anyone's going to be bad at picking up women, it is not George Clooney.
Yeah, but didn't they make a movie of that, like, Hitch?
But fictional character. No, he wasn't in Hitch.
No. But the concept where it's this guy is, like, really bad at meeting women. They made an entire movie.
Oh, I'm sure there was, but you picture George Clooney in that role? No.
You know what, though? That's the hilarity of it.
Apparently, according to George Clooney, no way.
Oh, Clooney, what happened to your funny bone?
Where is George Clooney's ha-ha in this?
Where's your sense of ha-ha?
Segments were directed by Peter Farrelly, Brett Ratner, Elizabeth Banks, Griffin Dunn, James Gunn, and many, many more. However, it almost had sketches directed by Trey Parker and Matt Stone of South Park and Orgasmo fame. You got to mention Orgasmo. Got to give Orgasmo its love. But that didn't happen. Now, we watched the North American version of this film. There is a second version. There's the UK version. Basically, in the North American version, the entire film, which is literally just a series of sketches. Like, think of movies like the Kentucky Fried Movie, or even, looking at Monty Python, and now for something completely different. And there's usually a unifying thread that kind of goes throughout. In this case, the unifying thread was Dennis Quaid pitching this different movie ideas, or the different segment ideas for the movie at gunpoint. In the UK version, it's slightly different. It's three guys scouring the internet in some like weird scavenger hunt, looking for the elusive movie 43. So we will be dealing with the North American version. We did not get a chance to watch that, although I think I remember actually trying to catch this movie one time on, like, when it was on the movie networks, and that was the version. The UK version was on that. Either that, or I'm just having some really, really weird fever dreams about movie 43, and at that point, I need some help. Just to give you an idea of this film, Richard Roper, the critic, called this film, and I'm quoting here, the Citizen Kane of awful movies. That is a high bar to hit. Like, that is literally, this is one of those films that is known as one of the worst of all time. And a lot of people agree, including the Razzies. At the 34th annual Razzies, this movie won for Worst Picture. All of the directors won for Worst Director. Halle Berry and Naomi Watts were both nominated for Worst Actress. The winner was Tyler Perry for A Medea Christmas. The entire cast was nominated for Worst Screen Combo. The winners for that one, though, Jaden and Will Smith for After Earth. And all the writers won for Worst Screenplay. It was also nominated at the 2013 Golden Trailer Awards for Trashiest Trailer. but that was won by Spring Breakers. However, when you take a look at it, though, from a money perspective, film didn't do that bad. According to IMDb, this film had a budget of $6 million. Domestically, it grossed $8.8 million. So it made its money back domestically. Worldwide, it made $32 million, which is a big jump. And I had to take a look at it. Like, only $8.8 million. So there's basically a missing $24 million ballpark. Where did that $24 million come from? $8 million of it alone was in Russian cinemas. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I'm just, when you watch this movie and go, $8 million came from Russia. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Just niet. However, domestically, let's go back to domestic here. When it was released on the weekend of January 25th, 2013, this debuted at number 7. There were a couple of movies that debuted that weekend. Debuting at number 1 was, and I'm not even kidding with this title here, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Which starred Jeremy Renner and Gemma Arterton. It debuted with 19 million. Movie 43 debuted under 5 million. It was like 4.8. But also debuting that weekend was Parker, which stars, and again, I'm not even kidding here, Jason Statham and Jennifer Lopez. A J-Lo film debuted over movie 43. But I mean, it's middle of January. It's late January. This is like the dead time for movies. It's like you get the Christmas rush, and then you get the Valentine's Day rush. January is like a desert wasteland for films. So if you're debuting there, it's almost like the studios know what's going to happen. Like going through the list here, like Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, Mama, Zero Dark 30, Silver Linings Playbook in its 11th week. So it's nothing else going on. Django Unchained was like number 6. Gangster Squad, so another film with Emma Stone, was at number 8. Les Miserables was sitting at 9, and Broken City at 10. So it's not even like it was a good week at the box office. Like Hansel and Gretel, under 20 million. And yet somehow it made its money back, despite what the critics were saying. This film, over at Metacritic, has an 18 Metascore, but at Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score is 24%, and the tomatometer, 4%. Which, if you're doing the math, that means 4% of critics thought it was okay, I guess. Like, when you take a listen to all of that, are you surprised that this film hasn't been like buried in the same landfill with all of the cartridges of the E.T. the Extraterrestrial Atari 2600 game cartridge?
Yeah.
I have a feeling Carrie's still like in some weird, like, needs some therapy after watching this.
Did it, I mean, this is the kind of movie that, thank goodness, it was released in 2013 when, the straight to DVD would have been an option.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because if this movie were released today, it would probably be in the straight to Netflix category.
At best, straight to Tubi, maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Or straight to Roku. I can't even say that about Roku, because Roku's actually been putting out some decent stuff, and they have Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al Yankovic coming out. So that's good for Roku, but straight to Tubi, maybe. That's all I'm thinking on that one.
I don't know though. This has the star power to at least intrigue people to.
That's the baffling thing.
Watch.
Like, I remember when we were watching this, and I think one of the first comments you had as we were talking about it afterwards is like, how the hell did they get all of these people to sign on for this film? Because it is It is a who's who of 2013 Hollywood. Like, it's insane when you see the list of stars in this, and you're like, did you all not read the scripts? Like, who has pictures of you and who do you owe money to? That's what I'm trying to figure out in this one here.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what? This project for an actor would be very intriguing, very it would be, I don't know, it's an opportunity to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just like leave any character acting, leave the serious scripts behind and just go and have fun because you can. And that's really what this is about.
And it's not even really like, they were asking a lot of some of these stars. It's like some of them were on screen for like maybe 10 minutes maximum. And in some cases, even a lot shorter. So, it's like a fun day out with your friends kind of thing, which I can kind of see and you kind of get a feel for that. But let's get to the breakdown here. And instead of doing this star by star, we're going to do this segment by segment. But I want to start with the interconnective tissue of the film, and that's the pitch. This is basically where Dennis Quaid is at gunpoint pitching his idea to Greg Kinnear throughout the film, and each of the ideas that he comes up with happen to be these sketches. Like I said, I remember in some weird kind of nightmarish fever dream trying to watch, like, I guess it was the UK version, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Watching it again on Netflix with the North American version, this actually makes the movie make a little bit more sense. So as you're watching this and at least having that common return to, like, basically, reminding us that these are all just the ideas of a crazed, whacked out Dennis Quaid. What were your thoughts on the pitch as it went through the film?
Well, again, I mean, when I first saw the trailer, the first thing I said to you was just that. It was, how are all of these characters interconnected? Like, where's the story here? What is even happening? So,
what is even happening? I think that's the tagline for the entire film. Movie 43, what the is even happening?
So seeing the movie, I mean, clearly, yeah, it was necessary. It was funny, the turnaround, like when he was able to get the producer on board. Like it was yeah. I mean, at first, you think, wow, these ideas are just so out there and so weird and strange. There's no way this is going to get produced.
Right.
But you kind of see that warming up to the concept.
It reminded me in a weird kind of way. It reminded me of Tim Robbins in The Player, in that the film itself is a little bit meta kind of thing. And basically that whole, going around the studio lot and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, I get this. I understand this one makes more sense than three kids scouring the internet trying to find the elusive movie 43. The fact that these sketches are played off as the delusional rambling ideas of one whacked out Dennis Quaid, which he himself in this role is just a ton of fun. Between him and Greg Kinnear, it is so much fun to watch these two just kind of goof on each other. Like Dennis Quaid, he's known to be able to play a little bit manic, a little bit crazy. He can do serious roles very well, but I mean, like, this almost brings him back to like the Inner Space days where he was a lot of fun. And you're right, it is good to see actors probably more known for serious roles having fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's definitely there's almost a joy in watching it because these are very talented actors, and we'll get to the MVPs later and who I really, really liked, and who maybe I, didn't like, but I'll defend and I'll say, you know what? They did a good job with it.
Right. Okay.
You have to wonder, though, the thought process when they saw the script and, characterization. You will have a set of balls hanging off of your neck.
Right?
Yeah, sure. Sign me up.
You know, it's funny you mention that because that is kind of like the first sketch that you see. All right, it's known as the catch, and I put my little quotation marks here for you, testicle neck, because that's kind of the way it should be known. But it's
How is this man still single?
right? Let me tell you.
Well,
he's got testicles on his neck. Apparently, this was actually the first sketch filmed for this entire thing, and this sketch was what they used in order to secure the funding for it. The whole, I'm just right.
if that's the one you're going to lead with,
Right. And then that's the thing. Can you imagine showing this to like a movie studio going, we're going to do this, but a lot more of this. And there's Hugh Jackman with a giant set of nuts hanging off his neck going, yeah, we're going to do this. Okay, here's some money. Here's $8 million.
how much do you want?
Here's $6 million. Go make this. Go take the testicles off Hugh Jackman's neck and go. I can't even believe some of the things I'm going to have to say in talking about this film. But the funny thing is, as we were watching this, and this, like I said, this is the first actual sketch. This is the first idea that Dennis Quaid is pitching. You were laughing hysterically through this whole sketch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think they led strong. This was definitely my favorite. And as the movie goes, it's kind of like it might go in waves. Well, there's a few more I might mention, but this is definitely, I think, the funniest of the scripts. And it's so well played.
Well, that's the thing. Like, first of all,
good.
Kate Winslet is a gem, you know, and known very much for very serious roles. So to see her trying to look anywhere but the testicle neck,
and trying not to be rude as well. Like, just what I loved about it is the interaction, with the waiters and then that couple that showed up at the end and the baby. But yet everybody was just so completely, I don't know. They didn't focus on it except for Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
She was just horrified by this, but everybody else was just like, "Oh, it's okay, it's totally normal."
This is completely normal to have. Like, it literally looked like, imagine someone riding their bicycle, and they hit a bump really, really hard, and they land on their nuts so bad that basically the testicles go up into the, like when you say, "Oh yeah, I felt my balls in my neck." This is what it would look like.
Okay, but when it got cold in the restaurant, oh, yeah. But I mean, they even scripted that, and they even played that in, and I thought, okay, here's where they draw attention to it. No, because he had a slight incision under.
Right? And you know what the funny thing
that was
is?
his bicycle accident.
Let me put this out on Front Street here, okay? Guys, when it comes to nut shots, all right, we're real sensitive. My wife, as lovely as she is, laughs her ass off anytime someone gets hit in the nuts.
I love a good nut shot.
You are literally the embodiment of that Simpsons. This one has heart and thought and meaning, but ball in the groin has a ball in the groin.
I can't help but giggle when our youngest says, "Oh, I got hit in the Hogwarts." True story.
We are real good parents, let me tell you here. But here's the thing, right? Is that when a guy watches a nut shot, even when they know it's fake, even when they know it's just a movie, you still wince a little bit. So when Hugh Jackman takes a plate to his cold, shrunken neck testicle, which I can't believe I just said that sentence out loud, but here we are. And I'm just like, why am I feeling this? It's in his neck.
Okay, but I think my favorite was the hair in the soup.
In the gazpacho.
The gag reflex that Kate Winslet had, because literally as I was watching it, I was just like,
Actually, you know what's funny?
Nasty.
It's when the ball shrank when it got cold, right? And she just looks and goes, oh, and it's just like, yes. Like, I completely applaud Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet for just having so much freaking fun with this. Like this, you're right. And we talked a little bit about this when we reviewed Four Rooms, in that, you know, you got to start strong and you got to end strong. And with The Catch, movie 43, for whatever you think about the film, it starts strong. And no matter what you have to understand, you know, Peter Farrelly, you know, known for many wrong films, Peter Farrelly heavily involved with this. And this is what they start with out of the bat. You know what you're expecting.
Yeah. You couldn't have buried it in the middle of the movie.
No.
Or even ended with it.
Nope.
It had to be off the cuff. It had to be the first one.
Yep. This is the welcome to movie 43 sign on the road to hell.
And I do love that you mentioned Four Rooms, because this movie had very much that feel. Mm-hmm. In that, you know, they're different segments, different stories within, and all directed by different directors.
Dennis Quaid kind of feels like, you know, Tim Roth in this, in that he is the connective tissue through the whole thing. But yes, starting strong with The Catch. Again, kudos to Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet on this. The next segment was Homeschooled. And this is where Liv Schreiber is basically, you know, trying to give his homeschooled son the true high school experience. And I'm not going to lie, I couldn't stand high school worth a dime. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel some of this.
Oh, God, no. Those parents need to, they need to be reported, like, to child services. And that child needs to be saved.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, that's just child abuse.
Yeah, I mean,
period. End of story.
It starts off kind of funny, like with the whole gym class and Liv Schreiber like, you know, pelting his child with the dodgeball, and learn to use the right colored ink, you know, and then it just goes downhill from there. And it's just like,
the poor kid, though.
Right?
But Julie and I are going to go to the movies. I have a date tonight.
Julie's a pretty girl. I need to put this out there. Movie 43, in a way, feels like if Saturday Night Live moved to HBO and basically had like all the restraints taken off of it. Right? Imagine some of like the sketch ideas that the Saturday Night Live crew has come out with. Like I remember watching 30 Rock, right? And you see some of the ideas that come up in the writer's room. I'm just like, yeah, this is probably how a lot of this movie came to fruition. It's like all those kind of ideas that people had in mind. It's like, nope, this is way wrong. Can't do this on national TV. But we can do it here. This is just such a wrong idea. It's a series of wrong ideas.
It's a terrible idea. What time?
The time is now. But Homeschool was very much like a downshift from The Catch. Like as wrong as it is to have testicles hanging off your neck, it was still funny as hell. No matter how prim and proper you might be, if you're not laughing at Hugh Jackman with testicles hanging off his neck and Kate Winslet's reaction to that, there's something wrong with your haha, George Clooney. But let's move on from Homeschooled to The Proposition. Also, that to you would be known as Anna Faris wanting Chris Pratt to poop on her. This was a little weird because, of course, this film came out.
Yes, it was weird.
It was very weird.
The whole movie was weird.
But, of course, this movie came out while Anna Faris and Chris Pratt were together. And then they filed for divorce, I guess, in 2017. But I'm going to put it out there. This film, or this segment, this sketch, doesn't work as well without Anna Faris being just like an absolute delight in this. Chris Pratt, it's whatever kind of thing, but Anna Faris in this is really funny as hell.
I disagree. I think Chris Pratt made this segment
really
the best. Oh, yeah. I mean, the whole conversation with the friends.
Oh, JB Smoove, yes.
And just the fact that everyone was totally like, oh, yeah, man, this is true love. This is how you know. And just the extent that he went to make it perfect for her.
Yeah.
You know?
And no, you don't on here. You on a whore. You poop on a girl.
Yeah.
Like there's a difference.
Oh.
Yeah. But I mean, it's Anna Faris is comedy gold to begin with, right? And is able to bring that just the sweetness of like, I want you to poop on me. But by the way, and I'm just going to say this right now, I know occasionally our kids listen to our show. You are not
Nope.
watching this film. No, just no. But I think the real comedic genius of this segment, aside from like the JB Smoove, poop pep talk, if you will, is the sound design of this one. The constant rumbling of Chris Pratt's intestines after having like the Turbolax.
Well, yeah, he downed like half a bottle.
He did the whole damn thing.
That's not smart.
All this is for me?
Washing his burrito down.
Oh, yeah, no, just no.
Yeah.
And then he gets hit by the car and it all comes out.
Yeah, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that.
We have solved the meatloaf question.
This is the one thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the sad thing is, a lot of it looked like meatloaf when it came out of him. I'm sorry, but yeah, now that's out there.
Yeah.
Now that's out there.
I feel for the car that hit him.
Yeah, because that is
That
not
cleaning
coming out.
bill.
That is literally like all night at one of those wash it yourself places, because no one in their right mind would bring their car to like one of those auto washes kind of thing, because you'd have to go through about 5 times. I got like another round to go. But I think this one, and it's funny because like the catch so far is the best one. Homeschooled is a bit of a drop down. Proposition, I think, was a pick back up. You almost have like these waves.
wave.
Absolutely. Because the following one is Veronica, also known as Emma Stone in a grocery store, talking about he was a wizard, which I think that entire sketch was based around like, her accusing, him accusing her of blowing some guy in the alley. And it's like, he was a wizard. It was a very, very weird sketch kind of thing. And you're looking at me like, huh?
I think I've forgotten this one.
Or you blanked out at that point.
I think.
Yeah. You were still trying to picture Hugh Jackman's testicle neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is unfortunately a very forgettable segment in this. The only saving grace of that entire sketch is Emma Stone going, he was a wizard. Which is a shame, because you have Emma Stone in this and it could have been so much better. And it wasn't. This one, to me, was the worst segment of movie 43. If this were a wrestling pay-per-view, this is the bathroom match.
It was kind of in the middle too, wasn't it?
It was. It's almost like they play this whole thing out like a wrestling pay-per-view, because every now and then you got to put a match somewhere where people can go to the merch booth, they can go get more beer, they can go to the bathroom. It's the bathroom match. This is the bathroom match, and unfortunately it's a waste of a good Emma Stone. Moving on. The iBabe. Nice to see Jack McBrayer in a film. Richard Gere in this is just a ton of fun. And kudos to Kate Bosworth for sitting there and just like, shaking her head at the cluelessness of everybody. But how was the iBabe for you?
You know what? It just kind of felt like an interstitial. It felt like that one was supposed to be the bathroom break.
Really?
Yeah, because it was just it seemed so out of place, and it seemed so different from everything, even though each sketch has been completely different. But it felt just like a commercial. And I think that was the intention, was it not?
This is
almost kind of like
it started as a commercial kind of thing, and then it kind of flushed out when, the whole concept of the iBabe is that it's basically a naked woman that is basically a music player. And unfortunately, the high-powered fan, in order to, to keep the coolant going, is located in its vagina.
I think they created it for the homeschooled kid.
Ah, but it mangles dicks.
Well, again, those parents really should be reported.
Like I have likened this film already to Saturday Night Live sketches. And I think everyone can agree that when it comes to Saturday Night Live, you have some sketches that are really, really good, surrounded by a lot of filler.
Mm-hmm. But it all can't be super funny all the time, or you wouldn't be able to pick out what was really good.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just like time.
All killer, no filler. You can't.
But the thing is, this is your one shot with this film. With Saturday Night Live, they're going to be on every week, and I guarantee you, the day that Saturday Night Live is removed from television schedules, there's going to be a riot. There are certain things that have been around a long enough time that they have become institutions.
Yeah, but those people that riot, do they really watch it every week?
Oh, no, they probably don't.
No.
But here's the thing. There are certain institutions on television. Saturday Night Live, I think, is one of them. Yes, the faces change, but everyone out there has their era of Saturday Night Live. You know, there are some might be dating ourselves here a little bit here, but the days of Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, the days of Eddie Murphy, right? Like, to us, maybe the good days of Saturday Night Live, but for some people, the days of Will Ferrell are the good days of Saturday Night Live. For others, it's the days of Tina Fey on Weekend Update or with Amy Poehler, right? Like, everyone has their era of Saturday Night Live, and if they took that show off the television today, whether it was being good or not, that's an institution. Like, can you imagine if they announced tomorrow that WWE would no longer be on television? No more Monday Night Raw, no more SmackDown, regardless of whether you watch it or not. Mm-hmm. It's a staple.
Well, yeah, but not too long ago, Saturday Night Live lost a lot of cast members, including Kate McKinnon.
Yeah,
so,
but that happens every now and then. Like, it goes through waves. The Tonight Show, perfect example.
Exodus like that?
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of them move on because they want to go to movies. They don't want to have to deal with the week to week. It's the same thing with the Tonight Show. How many different hosts have been hosting that show? Doesn't matter who the host is. Same thing with The Daily Show, right? Jon Stewart, now you got Trevor Noah, right? These shows will continue on regardless of who's sitting in the chair or who the cast is or who the wrestlers are or whatever. But they're institutions. With Movie 43, you had one shot. It should be all killer, no filler. Babe felt like one of those weak Saturday Night Live sketches. Mm-hmm. And Veronica was very forgetful. Superhero Speed Dating, however, had some funny moments. Some. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts? Aside from Batman's a real dick.
I loved their actors' choices. Mm-hmm. Like for Robin, for Batman. Oh God, it was.
Kristen Bell as Supergirl was really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt this was a weak one too. Even though I know I wanted to like it more, mm-hmm. I really did. I don't know. It kind of fell flat, or maybe I was just losing steam and losing interest in the movie completely itself at that point.
I wonder, and I'm going to put this out to you because, of course, again, this was one of those sketches that was done previously and they redid it for this film. Would you have enjoyed this more if Sam Rockwell was Batman?
Anything Sam Rockwell is in, mm-hmm. I enjoy. So, yes, I mean, possibly. However, who was it that they had cast? Because I thought he was perfectly fine.
I think it was Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But has he played Batman? It's almost kind of like I've seen these characters before.
He was in Ant-Man.
It almost felt like a sketch that I had seen, like a reprisal of maybe a Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and again, we're going to get a lot of Saturday Night Live comparisons here, where it's just like it feels like one of those weak sketches. Moving on, and this was a very quick one. I knew Machine Kids. It's like a commercial where like people are like, you know, getting mad at the machines because they don't work, like whether it be you know, bank machines or vending machines, and they're hitting the machine. There's like kids inside, you know, looking at that through that slot. It's like, oh dear God, they're mad again. I'm not gonna lie here. I like commercial based humor, like fake commercials, that kind of stuff. Like, and again, going back to the Saturday Night Live days, right? You know, the Bassomatic. You know, you think about the old Dan Aykroyd sketch, right? Like that kind of comedy to me is funny, but I don't know if this is the place for it.
Again, because it was so close to the iBabe sketch, it truly felt like they were just throwing in commercials into a movie about making a movie or pitching movie concepts. I don't know. It was. I mean, it was very much like a visual puzzle, where like so many moving pieces that you don't quite know. Like, you don't know what's next, right? When you're watching it for the first time. But yeah, I don't know. As far as like commercial spoofs. Yeah, it was fine enough. It was fast, so it wasn't like overly, you know, it wasn't like an overly lengthy.
Do you know which movie actually did, I think, commercial humor really, really well? Was the original RoboCop. You know, where you know, someone would pass by a TV and it was showing like a commercial and kind of showed the dystopian aspect of Detroit at the time. Even like the show's like, I'd buy that for $1. Like that worked well. As much as I got a chuckle out of the concept of Machine Kids, I just don't think it fit movie 43. I see why they put it in there. And if I'm drawing a Monty Python comparison, you think about the and now for something completely different. And it had all these different animations where they were almost like, how do you get from sketch A to sketch B kind of thing. I see how this was supposed to be that. It just didn't work in this case. But you still had to get to the next sketch, which was the middle school date. Or as you would probably know it, the unfortunate period, if you will. Chloe Grace Moretz in this. Most people remember from Kick-Ass as Hit Girl. You will remember her from Tom and Jerry. But just sold the whole damn thing. Like this was just like 5-6 minutes of freakouts, and it was kind of funny.
It was, and the kids and the dads too when they got into their fight. You know what? I liked this sketch. I liked the innocence of it. Felt for the poor girl, but I mean, she held her own. She's like, I'm just so upset, you know, for the first day of this happening to be in front of you idiots. Like,
right.
No doubt their relationship probably ended that day.
I got frozen peas and a sponge. Oh, this sketch makes me happy we have boys. That's all I'm going to say. But the fact that they followed this sketch up with a fake Tampax commercial, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is where the commercial humor is perfect, right? Like the Machine Kids, okay, funny, but out of place. The Tampax commercial where the two women go into the water and like the shark goes and eats one of them. It's like, Tampax, make sure it fits. I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. That's just, it's so simple, but so funny and while being so wrong at the same time. That's all I'm going to say because I'm a dude and I can't really comment on these kind of things. But I mean, for you, like there's the thing, right? Like this kind of humor for you in a clearly made for wrong minds kind of movie to have this kind of sketch in there, and then followed by the fake Tampax commercial. What were your thoughts on having that in there?
Again, it was smart, and anytime you can find humor in any situation is definitely a good thing. I mean, yeah, like I think the actors played it really well, and yeah, I don't know whether it was appropriate humor or not. Like, poor girl on her first day of her period,
Someone put fruit punch on the couch.
I know. There's a lot of, just a lot of emotions at that moment. But yeah, they were so great. It was funny, but it was one of those like, okay, move on.
I feel like
Next.
the tagline should have been Movie 43, inappropriate laughter for the whole family.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Moving on. Happy birthday. The angry as leprechaun in this, with Gerard Butler as the leprechaun and Sean William Scott and Johnny Knoxville having their asses handed to them. I'm not gonna lie, like between there's a long stretch in this film where the sketches are middling at best. Middle School Date was funny. This is where the wrong picks back up again, and I'm kind of here for it.
I mean, it it very much felt like it could have been a movie in and of itself. Of all of the sketches, this is kind of the one that I would have liked to have seen maybe a little bit more of. Because yeah, I mean, it was just that. It was almost, I don't know, like, again, it was so different than Jackass, right? But very enjoyable to watch all the same. And I wanted to see, I guess, a little bit more.
It's like Jackass and American Pie
Yes.
had a baby.
Yes.
It looked like a leprechaun. They tied it to a chair, and then the leprechaun got out and started kicking their ass. That's and that's the funny thing. Like, it's just so over the top. Like, I get that movie 43 this is not for the mature of mind, right? This is the kind of movie that reminds you that mature is one letter off from manure. Okay, but I mean, when you realize that, and you can just put your brain on vacation. Seeing an angry as hell leprechaun threaten to chop off everyone's balls, and then having the brother call, he's like, so this is what a dead man sounds like. I'm like, oh my God, this is brilliant. It's just so wrong. Like,
It was very well acted, very well scripted.
This
very funny.
That's the thing. This movie is wrong. It's supposed to be wrong. So be wrong. Like, just, if you're gonna go, we joked around this at the beginning, commit to the bit. Like, just completely go down that road. Absolutely go down that road. Just like they did on Truth or Dare with Halle Berry. And I think the Razzies need to apologize for the hell that they gave Halle Berry for Catwoman, because this proved that she's a ton of fun.
See, I love that you brought up the Razzies, and upon watching this movie, I was like, and she won for Catwoman?
Right?
And didn't win for this? That is a travesty right there.
Right?
However, can I say it now?
Say it.
No, I'm going to save it. But
okay.
I'm going to save it. But yeah, this was fun. It was just fun from the get-go. It was fun to see the progression of how a simple, cute,
little game of Truth or Dare on a first date kind of thing. Just to get to know each other kind of stuff. Like, it starts off so innocuous, and then it just escalates from there. Now, I will admit that that the last dare is a little on the offensive side. It kind of is, because and again, spoilers, he dares her to get like some really, really bad plastic surgery with a giant set of tits, the whole thing. And she dares him to get plastic surgery to make him look, basically Asian. And then it's like, no, I don't like Asian men. Like, okay. And with the buck teeth and everything,
he looked like Austin Powers.
That is a hardcore stereotype from the days when movies were really, really racist. This one sketch went, I think, one bit too far.
See, I looked at it differently. I thought he was meant to look like Austin Powers.
No, because they pass someone Asian, and then the next thing you know, he's getting plastic surgery, and he's got buck teeth and a bowl cut. And
I thought, okay. I thought that was okay.
This when you realize that, like, in hindsight, right? Like, comic books of old used to depict Japanese and Chinese as either buck-toothed or fanged, and when you those were the sensibilities of people at the time around Pearl Harbor, right? But we're talking 80, 90 years ago, right? The sensibilities of people have thankfully realized the error of their ways back then. While Truth or Dare was funny, it went one step too far.
See, I was just kind of like thinking where, they were going to cut the date short without any sort of a kiss or anything. And, Halle Berry's like, well, this was fun. Thank you. Good night. And the door closes. I'm like, oh, tell me she wasn't just toying with this man, that they're actually going to get together because,
Yeah.
They have a history now.
No, because it went that one step right. Like, this could have been a really, really, really defining sketch, but it lost me at that one point. And it's unfortunate because it was a funny sketch up until that last bit. And that's just me. Some people may still find it funny. That's okay. We're not here to judge anything. But I will say that in hindsight, that one last little dare was a step too far for this one sketch. I think say what you will about every sketch in this, and there's a lot of wrong in these sketches. That's the one misstep in this film. It really is. Victory's Glory. This is where it's Terrence Howard doing the whole pep talk to the basketball team, and it kind of plays on the tropes of, Hoosiers, the movie with Gene Hackman, but he's like, you're going to win the game because you're black and they're white. Like this, while playing on stereotypes, it's at least not an offensive stereotype.
It's interesting because this one was probably my least favorite for that reason. I was like, okay, this is just not appropriate. This isn't funny. This isn't getting any sort of a laugh from me because of the constant, just he was constantly beating it into his team that, you're black, they're white, you're going to win the basketball game because of color. And that one didn't sit well. And yeah.
And that's the thing. It felt like near the end, again, the leprechaun sketch, while again plays on stereotypes, it's just so over the top. Truth or Dare was funny until the last bit. This one, it does play on racial stereotypes. It's tough with comedy. And you're seeing that a lot right now. There used to be a time when people would make fun of anything and people would laugh along. And I think if this film was made today, there would be boycotts like you wouldn't believe. But it wasn't. There are a lot of films where you go back and watch them and go, that could not be made today with that script and those jokes in there. I think some of the stuff in this film would get pulled if it were being made today. But not Beazle. Not Beazle. The swan song of this film, Elizabeth Banks going to war with a horny masturbating cartoon cat, this is where I'm like, okay, first of all, it's directed by James Gunn, so I'm all in for it. How was Beazle for you?
Yeah.
That is the laugh of, oh dear God, we're at the point where my brain already broken.
Yeah, I think at this point it was like, okay,
You were
let's
at
just
Stockholm.
end it now.
You were at Stockholm Syndrome at this point, weren't you?
Yeah, it's like, okay, no, this is the last. Well, it was also after the credits, wasn't it? So this is like
This
the bonus round.
There's a bonus round of movie 43.
Yeah. That's how it felt. I was like, okay, I know they're going to end it after this, but
Yeah.
one more.
I mean,
We
first of
got
all,
one more in.
it's Elizabeth Banks, and she's funny as hell, right? Secondly, cartoon cat, no matter how badly animated, is going to be funny as hell. And yet it goes down that wrong road. It absolutely goes down that wrong road. But in all the ways where you can sit there and regardless of what you think of all the sketches previous to this, you can still get a good chuckle out of this. I think this was the best way to end the film. But yeah, by this point, you're at Stockholm Syndrome watching this movie.
Very much.
Okay, Twitter has spoken on this one. Big shout out to @JohnnyRothan, who says, was left speechless when watching movie 43, not sure in a good or bad way. Still cannot make sense of how they managed to assemble such a cast for these skits. Felt, though, that the tentative storyline to connect those skits together in the UK version was too much and unnecessary. And you know what? It's interesting. Like I don't know if I want to go down this road again, but if it means watching the UK version while watching for those differences, it's almost like you need like that skip sketch button in with Netflix. Skip sketch, yes, go to the next one kind of thing. But thank you, by the way, for that @JohnnyRothan for that chime in. Okay, I'm going to put this out there for you. You have the power to remove one sketch from this movie. What is it?
Only one?
Only one. I'm going to make you decide.
I think that I'm probably, I have a tie.
No, you got to take one out.
Just one?
You must decide.
Okay. I'm taking out the Basketball Diaries.
The Victory's Glory. Yeah, you know what? I kind of get that. I do. But I think I would take out Veronica, the Emma Stone one. But that being said, I would recast Emma Stone into one of the other ones because, I think she's an absolute gem, but the sketch did nothing for the film.
Okay, now I have a question for you.
Ooh.
You get to make one of the sketches into a full-length movie.
Okay.
Made for Netflix, straight to Netflix. Here's a whole ton of money. Run with it.
You know what's funny? Because much like Saturday Night Live sketches, a lot of these sketches are only going to work in short spans of time.
Yes. Note to Saturday Night Live, please stop making the full-length sketch movies.
Yeah,
please.
exactly. You were allowed,
Superstar.
right? You got to pass on Coneheads. You got to pass on Wayne's World 1. Stop while you're ahead. Although Night at the Roxbury, though.
Is that a contender?
We've already covered that.
There you go.
Right. I think the sketch with the most ability to be able to be made into a feature-length film would probably be Beazle. It's not my favorite sketch in the movie, but I think it's the one with the most potential to be made into a feature-length film. What about you, though, since you brought it up?
You know what? I want to see more of the blind date or the testicle neck.
Okay, so I'm going to put this out to you. Who is your MVP of this film? And I will accept it if you want to basically say, what is your MVP sketch of this film?
Well, previously, and where I was like, don't make me say it now, it was Truth or Dare. I absolutely loved every minute until, and now, because here in my mind, I was completely oblivious to any, insult or offensiveness. I honest to God thought it was like a rip on
Austin Powers. Which I get.
I thought that was more because of the actor's accent. I thought she was playing on that and made him look like
and
Austin
you know
Powers.
What? If they had left it at the buck teeth and the British accent, okay, you know what? But it's the bowl cut and what they did with the eyebrows. That's where it really tripped over the inappropriate line.
Again, it was lost on me until this moment. But oh God, I thought Halle Berry was so fun, absolutely so fun, and just the couples wanting up each other. Each dare just got crazier and crazier, and you could tell that they were having so much fun with it. And just the playful nature of Halle Berry. Oh my God, I absolutely loved the last scene where they actually did hook up because, we don't want to waste these puppies.
Right. I mean, I will say,
so good.
As much as I thought that Beazle could be made into a full-length film, I could see Truth or Dare, minus the last dare, being made into a feature film because you could really, play along the whole lines of, well, do you like him or do you just want to torture him? Right? Like that I could see being made into a feature film as well. But that's not my MVP.
What is?
My MVP sketch goes back to The Catch with Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet, with Hugh Jackman also being my MVP. Although I did consider Elizabeth Banks as my MVP, but no. Like, look, the pitch intro to the film aside, The Catch is the sketch that makes this film. Like, if you're gonna do a bad R-rated trailer on this, like, you show as much testicle as you can on that thing. Like this, and the fact that it's Hugh Jackman and Kate Winslet, right? Like, we're talking two actors known for doing very, very serious roles, even though Hugh Jackman has quite the funny bone as it is. But I mean,
apparently jetting out of his jugular.
I want to know, if he gets on a plane, does he have to pay for extra baggage? And on that note, Gary, thank you for this. To you, our listeners, I am so sorry you had to listen to us talk about this one. But look, you guys know the drill. If you think there's a movie out there that is unfairly maligned or that is so bad, much like this one, that there is no way in hell that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on Twitter at NotThatBadCast, and we will watch it. We will dissect it, even if it means putting our nuts in our own throat to watch it. We will watch those movies because we are looking to find the good things, the A grades in those B movies. Until next time, she's Gary, I'm Jay. This is It's Not That Bad. Take care, everyone.
Hey folks, Stefan Shirazi and Renee Richardson here from the Metallica Report.
And we are proud members of the Pantheon podcast family, where the best of music and podcasts unite.
We've got something pretty cool for you. We're giving away an exclusive Metallica merch package worth over $250.
That's a whole lot of Scary Guys, skulls, M72, and other sought-after Metallica swag. And we've made it easy for you to win. Follow and share the Metallica Report, and you're in the game. Go to pantheonpodcast.com/Metallica, enter your email, and hit that button to be entered to win.
And just like that, you're eligible for our monthly exclusive Metallica merch package.
And guess what, rockers? You can enter every month, so just do it. And while we love our global brothers and sisters, the lawyers won't let us ship outside the U.S.